The dust tasted like regret. Silas Blackwood spat, wiping his mouth with a calloused hand. Copper Canyon hadn't felt this tense in years. Walker was gone, hauled off to Tucson to face charges of assault and attempted murder, leaving a vacuum filled with whispered anxieties and lingering suspicion. Elara Thorne, however, remained, a phantom in a silk dress, observing, calculating, seemingly untouchable. Sheriff Harding, pale and drawn, sought Silas out of the Silver Spur saloon. "She's requested a meeting, Silas. Says it's urgent." Urgent with Elara Thorne usually meant trouble or a trap. Silas nodded curtly, accepting the offered whiskey. He'd burned going down, but did little to thaw the ice in his gut. Elara received him in a small parlor attached to a sprawling camp outside town. The air was thick with the scent of lavender and something else, something indefinable, unsettling. Walker wasn't present. "Good, Mr. Blackwood," Elara greeted, her voice smooth as polished river stones. She gestured to a chair opposite her. "I trust you are well as can be expected, considering the recent events." Silas settled into the chair, his eyes scanning the room. It was lavish, excessive, a stark contrast to the rough-hewn reality of Copper Canyon. Indeed, the unfortunate incident with Mr. Walker, regrettable misunderstanding. "I am grateful for the sheriff's diligence in bringing him to justice." Elara's lips curved in a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "I understand you have been investigating." "Someone had to," Silas replied, his voice flat. "The town deserves answers. About the ledger, about the map, about the boy's death." Elara's smile widened just a fraction. "You believe I am responsible for those things? I believe you're not being forthcoming." Elara sighed theatrically. "Very well. Let us dispense with the charade. The map, it indicates a vein of quartz laced with a peculiar ore. Its properties are unique." "Unique how?" "It amplifies certain energies, mineralogical energies, primarily. It is a catalyst, you see, a conduit." She paused, letting the words hang in the air. "I was seeking to harness those energies for beneficial purposes." Silas doubted that. He seen the look in her eyes, the cold calculation beneath a veneer of refinement. "Beneficial for whom?" "For Copper Canyon," Elara said, her voice gaining a touch of steel. "Imagine, Mr. Blackwood, a town thriving, powered by an inexhaustible source of energy, a beacon of progress in this desolate land. And the boy?" Silas asked, his voice low and dangerous. Elara's expression didn't flicker. "A tragic accident. I assure you I had no involvement." Silas wasn't convinced. He's seen too much in his years as a scout, seen the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of this world. He stood, pushing back his chair. "I'm not buying it, ma'am. You're hiding something." "You are a persistent man, Mr. Blackwood. I commend your dedication to justice. However, you are treading on dangerous ground. I'm used to it." He turned to leave. As he reached the doorway, Elara's voice stopped him. "There is one other matter I believe you should be aware of." Silas paused, but didn't turn around. "The Rattlesnake Gang, they were not merely opportunists, as the sheriff believes. They were hired by someone within Copper Canyon." Silas felt a chill run down his spine. Someone here, among the townsfolk, was willing to resort to violence, to murder, for their own gain. He left the camp, the dust swirling around his boots. The setting sun cast long, ominous shadows across the desert floor. He made his way to the Silver Spur saloon, hoping for a drink, for some semblance of normalcy. Inside, the saloon was crowded. The usual assortment of miners, cowboys and shrifters filled the tables, their faces etched with worry and apprehension. Sheriff Harding was arguing with Jed Keller, who had been released on bail, his face bruised and sullen. "He's a menace, Jedediah. A danger to this town." Harding roared. "You still have coming, Harding," Keller sneered, wiping blood from his lip. "Walker ruined me. Ruined everything." Silas watched the confrontation, his mind racing. Elara's words echoed in his head. Someone within Copper Canyon. Could it be Harding, Keller, or someone else entirely? He ordered a whiskey and leaned against the bar, observing the crowd. His gaze fell on Mayor Harding, who was huddled in a corner, nervously twisting his hat. Something about the mayor's demeanor seemed off. Silas approached the mayor, his voice low and conversational. "Evening, Mayor. Rough times, aren't they?" Harding jumped, startled by Silas's presence. "Mr. Blackwood." "Yes, very rough. This whole situation. It's been a nightmare." "You seem particularly troubled." The mayor's eyes darted around the saloon before he leaned in close. "It's the money, Mr. Blackwood. The ledger. It implicated a lot of people." "Who?" The mayor hesitated, then whispered, "Old Man Hemlock. He was involved." Silas recognized the name. Hemlock was the town's wealthiest man, a ruthless businessman with a reputation for shady dealings. Why Hemlock? He was financing Elara's operation. He hoped to profit from the ore. The pieces began to fall into place. Hemlock, desperate for wealth, had hired Elara and the Rattlesnake Gang. He's manipulated the town, exploiting its vulnerabilities for his own gain. Suddenly, a commotion erupted near the entrance. A figure stumbled into the saloon, bleeding from a gunshot wound. It was Cyrus, Jed Keller's partner. Hemlock betrayed as Cyrus gasped before collapsing to the floor. The saloon fell silent. The truth hung heavy in the air. Hemlock had turned on Keller, eliminating his loose ends. Silas felt a surge of anger, but he knew he had to remain calm. He had to protect this town, even if it meant confronting powerful enemies. He turned to Sheriff Harding. "Arrest Hemlock. Harding. He's the one pulling the strings." Harding nodded grimly, summoning the town guard. The arrest was swift and brutal. Hemlock protested his innocence, but his words were hollow. As Hemlock was led away, Silas's gaze drifted to the shadows in the corner of the saloon. A figure stood there, watching the scene unfold. It was Elara Thorne. She didn't speak, didn't move. She simply stood there, her eyes filled with a cold, calculating gaze. Silas knew that this wasn't over. Hemlock's arrest was just the beginning. The real threat still lurked in the shadows, waiting for its opportunity to strike. He looked out at the town, at the faces of the people he'd sworn to protect. He knew that Copper Canyon was far from safe. The darkness hadn't been vanquished, merely driven underground. As the dust settled, Silas Blackwood felt a familiar sense of dread. He knew that he was standing on the precipice of something dangerous, something far beyond his comprehension. He knew that the troubles of Copper Canyon were far from finished.